Hey Time Slicers, welcome to Slice Squad Spills. I'm your host, Nikki Wildflower. I went from a basement apartment to a multiple seven-figure empire. Now I'm here to share how you can do it too. Hi, everybody. It is Nikki Wildflower. Welcome to the Slice Squad Spills podcast. We have a special guest today. We talked about how moving forward, for this season, we're really going to focus on actually like helping people with their business in real time, asking questions and sort of doing like live coaching calls, but also kind of like working through problems together. And like even some of people who are existing clients of ours or were consulting clients of ours and kind of share some of their successes. So today we have Terra. She's on our podcast. She is, hi Terra. And we'll introduce her as well as my sister, Jackie, my co-host, who's also here.
Hello.
And one of the reasons we brought Terra on is because she probably wrote one of the most like infamous reviews we've ever had in real life, which is like, if I could have sold my kidney to do this, I would have. And we don't recommend that, just so we're clear. Please don't.
She said, sell your kidney if you have to.
But I don't agree. Don't do that. I don't think it's legal. But anyway, the reason why is because there was like a pretty huge, significant difference for Terra within, 90 days of working with us. And we'll kind of like break through that from where Terra was before to where she is now and still where she is going to go from here, because there's still more room for growth. So Terra, let me ask you something. What's the most unhinged moment you've had as a business owner? Like, the most unhinged, because we're in the season of unhinged here.
Yeah, we're in our clown era.
How about jumping in with no clients? I just jumped in. I had nobody. I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to rent a booth and I'm going to trust the process and get out there completely on my own. I was a mad person.
That is unhinged. I did the same thing, like a I don't even know like what, but I did the same thing, and it is incredibly unhinged. I agree. And also, that's how you get shit done. Like you just take leaps, right? So
that's unhinged in like the coolest way possible. It's like, you know what? F it. I'm trying to be a business owner out here. I did the same thing too. I was 20, right out of massage school. Unhinged as my story didn't become a success story until later down the road, but that's neither here nor there.
So. Healing touch by Jackie. Okay.
Healing touch by Jackie. The sign hangs in Kayla, my best friend's bathroom from my first business. Cute, right? Terra, I want to ask you another question. If your business journey, because you've come a long way since taking that initial unhinged leap, right? So if your business journey had a theme song or a movie title, and it doesn't have to be an existing song or movie, you can make it up or you can use an existing one, what would it be and why?
I'm going to be stumped on that one, but I will say it has been a beautiful, chaotic journey. I don't know what comes closest to that, maybe that exists. Beautiful Mess, you know that song? I went from nothing to rolling into just snowballing into this and just trusting the process. It just exploded into success. So
Terra, I remember because we were talking. So Terra was like in my, I don't want to call you a Facebook group lurker, but you were in there for a while before you even consider taking the leap and like asking everybody, is this worth it? I remember. And then like a bunch of people commented, but before you kind of started consulting with us, I think part of this is for transparency. I think it's important that people know you were earning about like $700 a week, right?
I was, yeah. And before that, it was even less because I was out on my own trying to make it, but I didn't know how to make it. So then I went into a chop shop thinking, I'm just going to go back to school. I'm going to pick a whole other career. But
nurse time.
Yeah.
That's what we always do. We're like, this isn't working. I see it all the time. We're like, this isn't working. And I'm like, no, how do I make it work? So you went from $700 a week to like $2,000 to $3,000 weeks sometimes now.
Within like the very first week that I put myself out there, because I had time with you all to build that momentum and to really understand how to gather the clients for my first week out. So it was like my first week fully in. It was double, tripled
People always are like, it takes time to grow your business. I'm like, it takes not time, it takes focus. And most people lack that. And so one of the things, so when you look, like, how does it feel to look back on how far you've actually come since those $700 weeks?
I am just astounded. I mean, I was sitting on the floor this morning. I don't know if you all have faith, but I was praying. I was just talking to God. Like, if you would have told me last year that I would be here today, I'd be like, you've lost your mind. There's no way. I mean, that I would go from working more to making less to working less and making triple the amount. I was going from, I need to go to food banks. Now I can't buy my kids Christmas, to under my tree right now is full of gifts. I was able to do that. I was able to shop.
That's beautiful.
Just one whole year, I couldn't believe the massive difference. Couldn't believe it.
Oh, Terra, this is why we brought this human on. This is like the most amazing human that we have the pleasure of knowing. And just the fact that we've been able to be a part of your growth journey at all is like a blessing and privilege. I'll say, like, I'll speak for myself, but I know Nikki feels the same way for us too. And like witnessing that. Also, I need to say, because I need to circle back to, because the song won't leave my head. I thought of a song for you. You know what song is, I can't get out of my head, is like Roller Coaster of Love.
Oh my God.
It's been stuck in my head since like we completed that. So I feel like it makes sense. Does it land for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. It's so funny.
Funny. I wanted to, so thank you for being vulnerable and for sharing that with us. I think for the listeners, it would be helpful for them to understand and know, because that is a big shift and big change of income in such a short period of time. What do you feel like for you was the first big shift that you made in your business that set the stage for that growth and success?
Destroying my poverty mindset. You know, you all giving me that push, the help with changing my mindset and remembering my self-worth. That's what did it. That's what I needed.
None of the other stuff works without having that inner shift. And I think that people really sleep on that. So like they'll come in, they're like, I want to learn your techniques. I'm like, let me tell you something, you guys, you're going to learn my techniques. That's the least important thing that you're going to learn here for your long-term success. And I think that it always like shocks people. And then they're like, okay, yeah, like the techniques, that's cool. The extensions, they're cool. The hair color, that's amazing. And I do work faster. None of that matters without the other stuff. It doesn't. And like, those are not the things that are going to get you like the most long-term sustainable change. So people want to skip past the inner work. And I'm like, you're starting with that.
Yeah.
You cannot have one without the other. You cannot.
When you say like poverty mindset, do you mean like your beliefs around money? Like,
I would say it was a lot of, this won't last. Shoe's going to drop.
Too good to be true.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of, I have the pleasure of talking to so many business owners. And I don't think that there's ever a phase in business where that thought is not there. Like, what if it all goes away? So like people tell me, they look at me and they're like, Nikki, like, look at what you've done. Like, I'm sure you don't have those same worries. I'm like, of course I do. I'm like, and not only do I still have those worries, I now have 30 other people to worry about too. So yeah, I'm like, so, that never, but it's so wild sometimes that we don't allow ourselves to just be in the joy. Like Brene Brown, who's one of my favorite authors, she calls it like foreboding joy. We don't allow ourselves, because we're always afraid that the other shoe's going to drop. We don't allow ourselves to really like revel in joy and be there in moments and like be vulnerable, because we're like, okay, I'm somehow protecting myself by thinking this way. I'm protecting myself for if something were to happen. And it's not so. Like, it's just something that our brain does. It's the way that our brains are wired, but it's not useful anymore. It was when we were back in like our survival days, like running from animals and stuff, but like it's not necessarily useful now. Or maybe there was a point in your life where it was useful, but it's not anymore. So like breaking out of that and allowing ourselves to just be in it and be like, I'm doing it. I did it. And like, There will be times where it's hard. Entrepreneurship is hard. There's no way around that. And I'm doing it. What's the most surprising change that, like, besides the income from, compared to when you first started consulting?
I mean, actually, I would have to say it's my mindset. And it's still a challenge and I'm still working on it. But that really was the huge shift, not just in my business, but in my life. To know that in this life, I am worth it. I am worth this. I understand the importance of continuing my education. There's just kind of a bunch of little things all in one. Just my mentality was worth changing just as much as the financial aspect, if that makes any sense.
It does. I always say, like, mindset shifting, not only is it the most necessary work, right? And like it has to be the first focus point, but it is the hardest and the most long-term like work that you have to do in entrepreneurship. Okay, I've come really far. I'm so proud of myself. But then like when life throws you another like rock, the mind wants to go right back to those mindsets. Like all the shifts that you've made, like it wants to go right back to pre that. And it is a constant long-term journey. But you've shifted so much. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. We've had many, many difficult conversations and many really incredible ones. They're all incredible, honestly, difficult or not. And you're doing it, my friend.
Yeah. And, obviously, like, I remember in the Facebook group you saying something along the lines of like when you were just kind of like asking other people for their feedback. And like, I remember just reading it and I'm just like, I don't know what people are going to say. Obviously, like, our clients have really positive experiences for the most part, 95%. And it was just like positive, 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 positive. But I remember that one of the things that you said, like there were a bunch of people that were like, I did it, changed my life. I did it, changed my life. One of the things that you said that really like struck me was, I don't think this is going to work for me in my situation. And we hear that all the time. They're like, yeah, I mean, but nobody has ever been in the situation that I'm in and still grown, So what was that situation?
That was the situation of not wanting to take the risk and thinking if I just stay in my comfortable place, maybe I could still make this work. Oh, no, I can't. I'm going to have to
What
jump.
made you feel like it wouldn't?
The time I thought it would take, because I am the only income. So I did not think it would work immediately the way it did. It worked immediately, but I did put in the work with you all. It would never have worked if I didn't put in the work.
You showed up and showed out. And yeah, and it shows,
That's the only time that I've ever seen somebody not get results with what we do is genuinely when they just don't do it, which sucks. I hate that. I want everybody to come in and just like be on fire, but I understand. And like we can do the most accountability, but it can be hard for people to break out of those mindsets and actually show up for themselves. And I just want to be like, come on, you can do this. But, with growth comes growing pains sometimes. So what's been the hardest part of, or has there been a hard part of stepping into this new version of your business? Has it been hard conversations you've had to have with people? Like,
it has been hard to understand when I need to say no, because I want to be able to tell them, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can guarantee that. So that has been a very hard learning curve, to just know that there are some things that I, with my skills and with my skill set now, I have to say no.
Boundaries.
Yes. Especially when you're just like, oh, that could be good money. Oh, but I could really screw it up too. And then it'll cost me money. Like, I have to learn to say no.
like realistic expectations and stuff. See, I always say yes is the thing. What, like specifically if somebody gives me like the most fucked up hair possible, I can't help myself. Like, there is nothing.
You're like, I got this. Period.
I'm like, I want everybody in their heart wants to be a hero. And but what I've learned is that if you're like for real with people and you're like, I literally don't know 100%. Like, this could be a little bit unpredictable, and I'm not going to guarantee that that's going to happen today, but I'm going to give it my very best. That they're
Honesty
like,
rocks. Then they're like, all right.
that they're just like, go give it your fucking best, Nikki.
You got this, girl.
But like,
Yeah.
but I'm also insane. Like, I love taking on those projects. I'm like, somebody come to me. Like, I want somebody on the internet whose hair got like fried off to be like, Nikki, help.
Fried off, box dyed.
Give it.
They cut it themselves. All of it.
I love drama. Yeah. So, you've already built so much momentum. So to be able to come from like $700 a week to $2,000, $3,000 a week, obviously is incredible. But for the sake of growth, and we never want people to stop growing, because a lot of times, like, what we find is that you can go so far beyond what you even thought was possible. So like, I want to coach you through what's an area that, like, where do we go from here? What is our next big growth goal? And I want to talk you through how we could actually get there.
Extensions, now that I'm certified there, that's I'm like, yay. Oh no.
You like my little dance. And you're like, I'm like dancing. You're like nervous.
Yes. So, okay. So there's that. And then just continuing to grow without looking desperate.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say, if you're already doing like $2,000 to $3,000 a week, and now you're adding in a high ticket service, like a high ticket efficient service. I mean, how much more do you think your income could possibly grow from there?
Did we just do this? We did this last week, didn't we? We did these numbers. Where did we land? Come on, Terra. Be audacious.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm nervous about someone coming in and I say, yes, let's do this. And then I can't.
So that's the thing. So I get this a lot when it comes to people like just starting extensions. And I totally get it, because I only started my extension journey, 20 years into my career doing hair. So
like last year.
Yes, last year. So one of the things that I say is that if your first at least 5 clients, you should probably run as a model call. And when I say model call, I mean, they know that this is something new for you. So they are getting it at a lower rate. But what you're going to be able to do is get your reps in, number one. And number two, what you're going to be able to do is create social proof. So with those people, you take as much content as you can of the work, you get your reps in. They know, as long as you are clear and communicative, like, I am new at this. This is incredible. I promise you that it is going to, whatever it is, I'm going to make it right. And I'm going to give you every tool for this to be a great experience. And you're still going to profit off of this, but just not as much as you would if it was a full paying client. But you have to create that social proof. Otherwise, nobody even knows that you are good at it, or you have nothing to show for it. So I like to say, do it as model calls. Be very clear with them that, like, this is something you are starting out in. And, the next time they come in, you can charge them full price for their move up. So you pre-book that. You ask those people for referrals, anybody else that would like to try. You get your reps in, you get the clients. And guess what? Like, this is something that not everybody does either. So your retention is going to typically be considerably higher. So like, when I started doing slice strands, I was like, oh, because I only work one day a week behind the chair, I'm like, I'll just bring in 10 clients or so, So I do 10 clients. I retained every single one of them for an entire year, to the point where I was like, okay, now this is like too many clients for me. I can't be, well, there was more than 10. It ended up being more than 10, because I was like, oh, I want to take that on and that
You're
on.
like,
and that.
You were posting on Facebook. You're like, who wants to come in and be a model for this crazy transformation? I'm like, she's taking another model. They're going to need a move up. I probably should have told you. I saw the writing on the wall there. I'm like, they're going to need to move up in 6 to 8 weeks. You don't have the availability for the move up.
But I trained other people around me. So now I've just, I have spread my good fortune onto the stylists who live there. Yeah, I didn't think that one all the way through. So I probably, and then I was like, oh no, I can't take all these clients. Oopsie. But yeah, no, there was like 100% retention, not like it was 100% retention. And because it's not something that everybody could do. And when you can figure out this skill and give it to people faster, especially busy people.
And you're just going to keep getting better and better and better every single time you do a move up for them. And yeah, it goes back to that, like Nikki was saying, she's like, I'll take on any crazy transformation. I don't give a crap. But but she's honest with them. She's like, listen, I'm gonna do my darndest to get you to that place, right? But here are the realistic expectations of like where we might be able to get to. I'm gonna do everything in my power to get you to, yeah, where you want to be. Same sort of honesty and transparency with the new people, with the models, right?
Oh, question about the referrals. So if I ask them to refer me someone, would you also discount them because you're still you and they know that
I
you
will
are?
do just say, and I would be happy to do the same for them for their first visit.
Okay.
So like who else do you know that would love a hair transformation like this? And I would be happy to offer them the same thing for their first appointment. Okay. Now once you're full, you don't do model calls anymore. That's the thing. Like when you're full, you charge full price, obviously. But like that's where people who have been doing it a while and now are starting something new, they get cocky and they're just like, I know
I
you're
don't
not
want to
like
do
that.
a model. Yeah, no, you're not.
I
But
don't want to do a model call. I'm like, I was
I don't want
20
to
years into
devalue
my career.
myself.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, but you have no proof that you can even do this. So like,
It's like when you bring in, when you have a new skill, a new service, it's like starting over again, and you want to specialize in it now. This is going to become your thing. You've got to start over again. Traffic and awareness, social proof. It's the whole model that you did with color. We were talking about this we had a coaching call literally last week. So that's fun. But it's the same process now as the success, the way you were able to take the blueprint, implement it, and grow your books with your current client base, your current like ideal client. It's the same method with any new service that you bring in. So you're kind of back to like square one in a sense,
Yeah.
but without actually being back at square one because you're still making $2,000 to $3,000 a week on average now. So now you just get to like elevate from there, but taking it back to focus point one.
same thing with every business, because I remember even like people come to me and they're like, well, I want to be a coach or an educator. And I'm like, okay, do you have any social proof that you like have gotten people results before or anything like that? And they're like, well, no. And they think, yeah, I just want to charge like $2,000. And I'm like, well,
Does
here's the
anyone know you
thing.
exist in the coaching
I'm like, well,
realm?
here's the thing. Are you willing to do it for almost free first? So that you can create that social proof, so you can get people results, so that people actually know that you are who you say you are, so that you have proof that you are who you say you are and can actually help people. So that's one of the things people like to skip that part. And I'm like, no, man. I mean, you can skip it. You can skip it. There are ways, but like I'm all about how powerful it is to have that social proof is huge. And just like to from a place of just giving value to people is they'll come back. That's the thing. I can't wait till we have this meeting again next year and you're doing 6K a week.
That's right. And next year is in a month, Terra. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, it is. I mean, technically 2025 is in a month, but look at what became possible in week one. I'm going to remind you that every time I speak to you. Look at what became possible in week one. And where'd it come from? Let's circle back to the beginning of this podcast episode. Your mindset. It's all the same steps. You're going to keep growing. Got to believe that, know that, and then do the things.
Yes.
Right.
All the
So
things.
let's talk about do all the things. Let's talk about this. Like, what do you feel like, Tara, is one actionable change that you could make in your day to day to continue scaling sustainably and make it to those 6K weeks?
Reaching out more.
Putting yourself out there. Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to challenge you to do that, at least 10 a day. If you could give one brutally honest piece of advice to someone just starting out in the industry, what would it be? And not to sell their kidney.
Yeah. Okay. You'll fail if you don't choose to go above and beyond more than the average stylist. Also, people look at your profile and judge. They judge your work and your looks. I have learned this. So take pride in yourself.
Heck yeah. That's their business.
Maybe that was more.
That's their
That's okay.
okay. If you could go back and tell pre-consulting, pre $2,000, $3,000 weeks, Tara, one thing, what would it be?
Stay diligent and persevere. And
I like it.
Be alone in this, because I was really scared that I was going to be alone.
Not alone. You've come so far, and it's just been so incredible to watch what's one bold move you want to make in your business in the next year?
To rent a suite.
Yeah, I dig it. Let's do it next week.
See?
No, this is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And I do want to like mark your growth next year. I would love to hear how much you continue to grow from where you already are now, and I'm sure everybody else would too. Now, you guys, if you're hearing this and it inspires you, which I'm sure it does, and it's something that you even want to consider coming into our consulting business and scaling your business, go ahead. We're going to leave an application below where you can apply, and we'll just set you up on a call and see if what we do would be a good fit. And I say if what we do would be a good fit because we're going to be the first person to tell you like, no, if it's not.
You're not ready, or you're ready and you need to do this. Yeah. We're going to be honest.
There are situations where it's like not the right time. And it pains me to say that, but if it isn't the right time, we give you a ton of action steps to get you closer. And so, yeah, go ahead and fill out that application. It would be the same application if you're interested in extensions as well. So fill that out. Also, those of you who are not quite there yet, if you're working commission or if you're still in school and you want to join time slicing school, that's just 7 days free. You can check it out. And it's $16 a month. There's a ton of great stuff in there. It's really for people who are starting out, technically want to refine their techniques and get faster. So
that'll be linked below.
As
Terra,
well.
where can everyone find you? Where's your business located for the listeners? If anyone wants to come be your model, maybe.
Indulgence Salon and Spa in Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Model call.
Yeah. Model call right here on the podcast.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to the next season of growth.
Yes.
Thanks for being here, Terra. You're amazing.
And everybody write a review, like, subscribe, do the whole thing. We love you.
Share it. Do all the things. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Slice Squad Spills. If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe, leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback is going to help us improve and attracts more listeners to the show. Please share with your fellow time slicers. And hey, if you're ready to optimize your time and double your income, we've got you covered.